So, hello guys, here I am your friend all in one by NSA, and here I am going to explain you about how to prepare for NDA. This is my first video about NDA, so let's first start about the introduction. That is, what does the NDA means, and in NDA how can we prepare for it. लाइक इफ़ वी सी अभी जैसे हम देख सकते हैं कि NDA 1 का जो रिजल्ट है जो अप्रैल में होती है वो जुलाई में आने ही वाला है और जो NDA 2 है उसकी फॉर्म्स फिलिंग हो चुकी है 30 जून वॉज द लास्ट डेट एंड द एग्ज़ाम विल बी ऑन 10th of September. So let's start now. If you talk about NDA, the full form of NDA is National Defense Academy. It is conducted by UPSC twice a year, as you can see. First in April and in the month of April, and then in the month of September. Like if you see this year, in April it was on 23rd of April, and in September it is on 10th of September. So through NDA you can get entry into Air Force, Army, Navy, and Naval Academy. So if you talk about NDA, what does it consist of? If you talk about part 1, that is the paper 1, which is full of mathematics, which consists of whole 11-12 mathematics and some basics knowledge of binary numbers, log, and some decimal places, significant numbers, etc. Then if we talk about the second paper, it is the part 2 of the NDA. So that is the general ability test, in which it comprises of English, social science, physics, chemistry, biology, and some current affairs and GK portion. So this whole exam is conducted on one day only. If we see, there are two papers of 2.5 hours. Like there is the first paper. If we took an example of I was having my first paper from 10 to 12:30. And then there was a break of 1.5 hour, and then there was again paper from 2 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Like there are so one paper consists of 2.5 hours. So like if we see the part 1 mathematics is of 2.5 hours, then we have break, and then we have general ability paper of 2.5 hours. Now if we talk about the total questions, there are 270 total questions mixing both. But if you talk about one paper, the mathematics portion consists of 120 questions, and the general ability test consists of 150 questions. If you talk about in a GAT, that is general ability test paper, there are 50 questions of English and 100 questions of the GK. The GK portion comprises of physics, chemistry, biology, the current affairs, and some social science also. So 120 questions of maths and 150 questions of general ability. Total questions 270. Now if we talk about the total marks, like the total marks are 900 marks. So if we break into two parts, the maths portion consists of 300 marks and the general ability test consists of 600 marks. So if we see the 300 plus 600, it is 900. So if we talk about the marking scheme, as there are total questions 120 in maths and total marks is 300. So if we see the marking scheme, you can see that 2.5 marks are awarded for one question. And like if we divide 300 by 120, if we can see the 2.5 marks of one question. And if we see in general ability test, we can see 4 marks are awarded for one question. Like in the general ability test, the total paper is of 600 marks and there are 150 questions. So we can see that 4 marks are awarded for one question. Now many people see that many people doesn't care about the negative marking, but in NDA if we see, the negative marking plays a major role. Like from my side also, I have experienced that if a person do write क्वेश्चंस बट ड्यू टू सम मतलब जब तुक्का लगा लेते हैं तो गलत जाने की संभावना बढ़ जाती है, जिससे नेगेटिव मार्किंग के चांस बन जाते हैं. तो जो बंदे सही भी करते हैं उसमें भी आपको नेगेटिव मार्क्स मिलते हैं, फिर आप कट ऑफ नहीं पार कर पाते हैं, ऐसा भी रहता है इसमें. इसलिए नेगेटिव मार्किंग का खास ख्याल रखना चाहिए. अब कुछ लोगों को इसकी नेगेटिव मार्किंग समझ भी नहीं आती. जैसे इन द पेपर इट इज रिटर्न दैट द नेगेटिव मार्किंग विल बी एज पर द फॉलोइंग रूल, दैट 1/3 ऑफ द marks awarded to that question will be deducted. So if we see in maths, 2.5 marks are awarded to one question. So 1/3 of 2.5 will be approx 0.8 5 something. So if we see 0.33 of 2.5 marks, and similarly in general ability portion we have 0.33 of 4 marks, that is something around 1.11. Now, so my friends, please take care of negative marking. You do attempt less questions, but attempt the right one only. Because if you attempt the right questions and very less negative marking is done by you, so there are higher chances of getting selected or passing the cutoff marks. Like if we talk about the cutoff trend, actually I will make a separate video for cutoff trend, but if I talk generally, the paper 1 which is in April has is generally more easier than paper 2 which is held in September. Not the both papers, but the first NDA exam which is held in April is, from my experience I'm telling, the first April NDA exam which is held in April is much more easier than which is held in September. As we can see, there are this exam held in two times twice a year. So cutoff trend also vary from the एग्जाम. जैसे ND1 जो अप्रैल में होती है उसका कट ऑफ जनरली 300, 310, 320 के अराउंड जाता है. क्योंकि अगर अपन इस बार ND 2017 पार्ट 1 का कट ऑफ ट्रेंड देखें तो वो 340 के करीब जा सकता है, क्योंकि द पेपर वॉज मच मोर ईजियर एंड इट ऑल्सो डिपेंड्स ऑन सर्टेन फैक्टर्स लाइक हाउ मेनी स्टूडेंट्स हैव अपेयर्ड फॉर द एग्जाम and the level of the paper. Also in NDA2, as the level of paper is high and there are students also less, so cutoff becomes low. As we can see, the cutoff for NDA2 is generally 280, 270, 285, etc. So we will talk in detail in the video which will suggest the cutoff trend. And this is the basic introduction to our NDA part. Also, if we talk about, like many students tension रहता है admit card का, so don't worry, it will come 2 weeks before the exam. And so get ready for the next video in which I will tell you how to prepare for mathematics portion. As I will give you some basic tips, basic chapters which are mostly asked in the paper from the previous year observations, like before 10 years observation. I will give you my whole experience. And also, if we see the mathematics portion, which is the major part, so if we because one thing also I want to tell you that if we talk about the qualifying marks, it also depends on the subject wise marks. At 20% marks are required in each subject. Like it can 30%, it depend on the cutoff, or it depend upon the paper level. So we should perform good in both the papers. So my friends, wait for my next video in which I will tell you about detail in how to prepare for mathematics paper. And thank you. Jai Hind.